Right now, let's bring in Heisman Trophy winner, college football analyst, Sirius XM, Gino Torretta, to get you ready for the final bowl games, including Notre Dame, Penn State tonight with the Orange Bowl. And Gino is joining us here on 105.3 The Fan on the D&M Leasing Hotline. Good morning, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
Doing well. Where are you right now?
I am in lovely Miami. It's only about let's see. Well, I shouldn't mention the weather probably, but it's 50. It's 50 degrees and a little breezy. So for us, it's frigid.
Wow. Man, it's like 80 degrees every day there.
Well, it might get to 80 later, but it's a little chilly tonight.
When was your last Michael Irvin encounter?
Let's see, Michael. So I'm on the road broadcasting games every week, so I did not have any encounters with Mike. I broadcast to Florida State, maybe last spring ball, I think, probably.
Okay.
Some kind of alumni function. He wasn't wearing the same shirt he's worn on the sidelines all year.
As long as he's not wearing those black sparkle ripped jeans.
Oh, yeah,
I try to tell him, stop wearing those damn jeans. But we see Michael on the sidelines acting crazy at the Canes games. I didn't know if you had any interaction because we love Mike.
You know, it's funny you mention that because the Final Four a couple of years ago in Miami, so my wife and I would go to Houston and, you know, we'd sit down and Edgar and James I think he's like basically right behind me. I think there were some other guys that played at Miami, Portis and some guys, and all of a sudden it was probably like right before halftime of the Final Four game, and Irvin comes like 20 seats from the other aisle, like the wrong way to come to his seats, and his seats are almost right next to mine. So he's just kind of coming through the people. He's giving me a big hug. He ends up standing on his seat. He was fired up, but he did have the black sparkle jeans on.
Oh man, he loves those. He loves those.
And he's doing the sweater around the neck back down.
Yeah,
I mean, that's his new look now. Good Lord. Gino Torretta bringing it already here on 105.3 The Fan. Gino, which of these two games do you have a better feeling about as to who's going to win?
You know, I don't know. I think they're both going to be great games. You know, when I look at these games, I think, you know, you look at Notre Dame and Penn State, both very consistent, but Notre Dame's offense, like, I don't know, pedestrian, I guess you'd say. It isn't lights out, and really they've lived on creating turnovers and you know, gaining in the turnover area. And I don't like Penn State it can be conservative, and I don't see them making mistakes. So I'm not, you know, that one might be a tight game, and the other one I can't wait to see it because I think that talent-wise, I mean, the guys that Ohio State's going to trot on the field, the guys that Texas is going to trot on the field are just fun to watch. I mean, Sark's great at scheming, game planning. He'll throw a screen, it seems like, to the left guard if it maps out well against the opponent. And Ohio State's got probably the most dynamic player in the country is at Smith on the outside. So I'm excited to watch both of them. I think they're great matchups.
Gino, would it surprise you more if Penn State beat Notre Dame or Texas beat Ohio State?
You know, probably Texas. You know, I had them against Florida this year and Arkansas. They are consistent. The only thing that I thought in watching Texas both times I saw them is their lack of a dominant running game. I think at that point in time, Wisner had only had one 100-yard game, you know, and I'm like, wow, this is Texas? And their running backs only had one 100-yard game, and this was 9 or 10 games into the season. You know, it was late in the year. I was kind of shocked at that. Now, if those guys are healthy up front and they, you know, play dominant up front, then I think all bets are off. But that was the only thing I thought. The only chink in the armor with Texas was their running game and being able to pound out the ball, which is, you know, obviously it's not, you know, a school that has had Earl Campbell, Ricky Williams is known for running the rock first and throwing second.
Heisman Trophy winner, national champ, college football Hall of Famer Gino Torretta joining us here at 105.3 The Fan. Is Texas starting the right quarterback?
Yeah, they're starting the right quarterback. Yeah, I think yours is pretty good. I think that he got banged up at the end of the year. Is Arch talented? Yeah, he's talented. He's big. He's fast. I think that he can do a lot of the same things, but I think experience matters. I think especially in this game, it's going to be the brightest and biggest lights that this place these guys have ever seen, and I think Ewers has been there and done that. And I think that I'm not going to question Sark. He's obviously been around some great quarterbacks, and he's coached some great quarterbacks, and I'm not doubting who he's trotting out there under center, because it doesn't matter what your name is on the back of your jersey. I think that he's putting the guy out there that he thinks he can win with the most.
I think that was Archie or Peyton calling you right there.
Right.
I heard it. I heard the nice ringer right there.
Gino, if you're Drew Aller and you play well, considering that the draft class is not thought to be great, do you go to the NFL this year if you're him?
I would evaluate it. I think that he has improved. I thought I really liked him last season. Had them for a game. I did their Ohio State game this year and their USC game this year. In USC game, I thought that Franklin will tend to be very conservative. Like, he doesn't want his guys to make mistakes. And, I was just like, let the reins off this kid. He's big. He's athletic. He can throw any ball you want. He's got, one of the best tight ends we've seen in years in Tyler Warren on the outside. I think that opportunity is going to be there for him. I really like the kid. But then again, I'm not sure what the NFL is evaluating on, because I saw Cam Ward throw the ball. I think the first 2 times I saw him in spring ball last year in Miami, I know I'm like, who the hell's the NFL guy that evaluated this kid that he didn't come out? I mean, hey, it's great for us that we got him, but I'm like, this is crazy. This guy's got an elite arm, and I think Drew Aller, if he went through that process, would have it. But man, I mean, why not stay in college? Heck, you can get paid more than you get paid in the NFL now. Some of these guys.
Gino, what was the reality of the Cam Ward situation in the bowl game that went viral and national of Cam not playing the second half and, quote unquote, leaving his teammates out there? What was the reality of that?
My guess, and I haven't talked to anybody over there, I think he wanted to break the record, and I think that was probably the agreement. And he had the record broke, I think, in the first quarter, and he could have come out, and I think they wanted to get Emory a lot of snaps. I just think if that was the agreement, you just got to, then you got to tell people this is what's going to happen. Now, me being a competitor, I wouldn't have done that. I mean, once I start them and lace them up, and this game's in question, I'm going to play 60 minutes. But that's me, and nor if I was the coach would I would have said, if you're not going to play 60 minutes or commit to me for 60 minutes, then okay, then you're out. That would be just me. I don't know if that's a hard line stance. I just maybe I'm old school. From that standpoint, is it matters to win every game you play, and but I get where Cam was coming from. I just that was a deal him and he and Coach Cristobal had.
You mentioned you're old school. When you're in the NFL, it's who the best team in the playoff is, not the regular season. The college football brain is having to be retrained this year, because now it's who the best team in the playoff is, not the regular season. How is that sitting with you? Because I know you played in the era where it was all about the regular season.
Well, I think the thing with college football, the regular season's always been the best, of all of the sports. I mean, where one loss might have, killed your chances of a national championship. I think now with a loss, it's not going to kill your chances of a national championship, as long as you're in the Power Four and you get into the final 12. I think that, listen, everybody wants to see a playoff, and we all want to see the best on the best. And I think that until we get some kind of system where, we're not having kind of a 3 cupcakes on everybody's schedule.
Yeah.
That you have a win and then you're just padding the pocketbook of the school by having a sellout of the stadium, and you have the big conferences playing each other, kind of a round robin similar to the NFL does, and then at the end of the year, the best records are going to make the playoffs, and then you go forward. I think that the thing this year, and I would hope they would fix it. The seeding is, to have to explain a seeding system to the casual fan, I don't think is good. I think that the college baseball system, to me, if you're going to have a playoff, do what they do. They reseed based on who wins the game.
Yeah.
So if you were the best in the regular season, you get the advantageous. Hey, you're going to play the lowest ranked team left, and that isn't what happened. I mean, for Oregon and Ohio State to play in the Rose Bowl, it ended up being, not a great game because Ohio State came out and was dominant. But I just don't think for Oregon to go through undefeated, their first playoff game was against a team that they beat by a point in the regular season. But hopefully that gets fixed. To me, what I don't like is the beauty contest at the end, where you have a bunch of talking heads like, well, this team's better with 3 losses. BS. Your record matters. To get in the playoffs of any sport, your regular season record has to matter. It can't be, well, this team has more 5-star athletes than the other team. We know they're better. Well, too bad. They didn't win. They didn't do it. It's like, do it and you'll get in. And then if you can get hot in the playoffs and win it all, great.
Gino Torretta joined us here at 105 through the Fan. What was your take on the Ryan Day situation at the end of the regular season, heading into the playoff, and then now where he is right now?
Listen, he's lost 4 in a row to Michigan. And I can remember, I broadcasted, I can still remember this. I broadcasted a Michigan State game. And Harbaugh was like 0-for against Michigan State and Ohio State. Mm-hmm. And I mean, every person in the big house in Michigan, they were like, get rid of Harbaugh. Get rid of Harbaugh. This guy can't beat Ohio State. He can't even beat Michigan State. And the fan base was crushing him.
Yep.
And I don't know if you remember, he took a pay cut before the season. He took a pay cut before the season, else they were going to get rid of him.
Yep.
Then he wins the national championship, and now he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. So I think that if you listen to fan bases on deciding who your coaches are, you end up with a revolving door, if you will, which, I think there's some probably teams near your city that have that situation at times.
So have you made your picks, or you don't do that as an analyst?
Have I made my picks?
Yeah.
Well, first off, I'm a Miami guy, so I can't take Notre Dame.
Yeah, that's right.
I had a T-shirt my freshman year that said Catholics versus convicts, and then I realized, I was the convict because I was also Catholic. I wasn't sure what the shirt was. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, and I'm like, wait a sec. They're saying I'm a convict here. So I'm going to take Penn State. I just think they've been very consistent all year. I love Aller. I love Tyler Warren. Notre Dame has relied on creating turnovers and winning that turnover battle, and I don't think Penn State is going to make those mistakes. And I think defensively, the 2 guys on the outside, Sutton and Carter. I know Carter's a little banged up, but I think those guys are big time players off the edge and going to pressure the quarterback, and they're running their passing game in Notre Dame's not great. So I'll take Penn State. The other game is a little harder. I think that Sark can game plan with the best, and I think he has talent all over the place on his field. Now, when you watch Ohio State the last time, you're like, holy cow, there's no chance that any team is going to beat Ohio State just based on how they performed against Oregon. They have, I think, the highest paid roster of, and that matters more in college now than in the pros having the highest paid roster.
Yep.
So, I think I'm going to go with Ohio State just because they're a little they're hot there, but I wouldn't surprise me if Texas came out, based on, a great game plan and that. I just think it's going to be a pretty good watch watching Chip Kelly's offense and Sark's offense in that one.
Gino Torretta joining us here on 105.3 The Fan. Are you doing or available for weeklies? I mean,
right?
A free weeklies.
Well, I mean, you guys take my games on Touchdown Radio.
Yes.
So, yeah, when you guys take I got no problem. I love talking college ball.
The voice. I mean, what are you doing? You got tea and this is booming. Holy crap! Impressive.
I'm trying to think where I flew. You know what? Was it Texas? No, it was Arkansas. I flew out of Arkansas and I was having a beer in the airport. And I was talking, and I was standing in front of some people. It was UT. It was UT in Arkansas. I did that game. I was flying to Dallas with a bunch of UT fans, and there was a young couple, and they're like, "Are you a voice actor?" And I'm like, "No, I'm a broadcaster." Well, that's a voice actor. I'm like,
yeah.
No, I actually have to have a skill to actually to analyze the game.
Gino, how do those Heisman commercials work? And when's the last time you filmed?
It is, the only one I've been in was when Baker won, so that would have been a while ago,
Yeah.
08, 06, something like that. So it's hard work, I would say. It's kind of shocking. It's like 6 a.m. call. The Heisman house I went in was like probably the most expensive piece of real estate I've ever been in. It was like the top of a mountain in the mountains looking down at the Rose Bowl. Hopefully, God bless, hopefully it's still there with the fires out there in Southern California. And it's like 6 a.m. to 6 o'clock at night. And all those commercials are filmed in a 2-day span. And it was, you're doing it. And the people that write the scripts are kind of the same ones that at least a couple I was in, the people that write like kind of the funny Geico commercials and stuff like that. So they are funny, and it's just fun kind of getting together with guys and hanging out with them. And I mean I think Bo Jackson and Herschel were there when the one year I did it, and man, they couldn't stop talking of who was faster. I was the fastest guy. You were the fastest guy. And then, like, as I'm remembering that, I'm like, holy cow, if we didn't boycott the 80 Olympics, both of these guys are in the Olympics.
Wow.
So it was pretty amazing being around those guys. It's always fun. And then Barry Sanders would take, little cat naps in the chair between his sessions.
Where do you keep the Heisman?
It is on my shelf here at the house in the bookcase. So and I take it with him. Take it with me if I need to make an appearance. I got a piece of luggage. I'll put it in and I check it as luggage. And 100% of the time, I always get the pre-TSA check that they had to open it up and see what was inside.
Do people ask you more about the Heisman or like the culture at the U?
Wow. I would say probably I guess the Heisman. It just depends on what ESPN is rerunning on TV.
Gino, before we let you go, give us your most confident NFL projection. Like Shador is going to be this, or Cam Ward is going to be this, or a player that you really believe in, a head coach. They're talking about Sark on TV, maybe going to the Cowboys, Deion Sanders, coaching his kids. What is an NFL draft future projection you feel the most confident in?
Oh wow, Cam Ward is a stud. Whoever gets this tight end at Penn State will be very lucky. I will say that. And when we did the USC game, I think he had 15 catches and 200 yards. And I still scratch my head. I was like, why isn't Penn State promoting this kid for the Heisman? He takes snaps at center. He's a former left-handed quarterback. He's huge. He can run, makes all the plays, and he's just a tough football player. And he will be a star in the NFL.
Gino, I'm in love, man. This was incredible. This is fantastic. We can't wait to have you on again. Let's get the negotiation for the weekly happening in the background, and stay safe and have fun this weekend. Thank you so much.
Sounds good, guys. Enjoy the games.